Let's begin by offering our respects to ISKCON founder Acharya and our preeminent Shiksha Guru, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram.
Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
Om Agyana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Paraya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Itti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Tadati Swa Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishavanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpataru Vyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Okay, so we welcome all of you to our weekly Krishna book classes. Thank you very much for joining. We have with us here Auntie Neeta, Aja, Ayush, Dadmelis, Deepa Vijay Kumar, Devina, Dipti Adnani, Divya, Hari Kumar Ishwaran. Then we have Nikita, Joli Nandwani, Kamala Nandini Mataji. Then we have Karuna, Jagrit, Lavina Dadlani. We have Lisa, who's joining us for the first time. Welcome, Lisa. Then we have Meenakshi, Venkachari, Nikita Gokani, P.T. Alamelu. Then we have Ritu Lalwani, Shailender, or actually that's Lavina. And then we have Shailesh Latkar, My parents are there. My husband is there. Then we have Shantaram and Sheetal Latkar. Then we have Sheetal's iPhone. I guess that's Sri Hari Radha Mataji, if I'm not mistaken. Then we have Shivani. And we have Swapna Latkar, Upasna, Vivansh. And we have a login from Sri Radhe Hari Devidas. Okay. So in the previous class, we saw Krishna killing the first demon, and her name is
Putani.
Putna.
and we saw some very nice names of Krishna in the previous class. So let's see how much we can remember in this Kali Yuga. No? What name of Krishna means that he is infallible?
Achyuta.
Achyuta, very nice. What name of Krishna means that he is the killer of the Keshi demon?
Keshava.
Kesava.
Keshava. What name of Krishna means that he is the carrier of the disc? Chakradhar, very nice. What name of Krishna means that he is the carrier of the mace, of the club? Carrier of,
Gadadhara.
what's that?
Gadadhara.
Gadadhara, yes, very nice. Thank you. What name of Krishna means that he is the killer of the demon Madhu?
Madhusudan.
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 What name of Krishna means that he is always unborn?
Aja.
Aja.
Ajana, Ajana or Aja, no? Very nice.
Aja.
What name of Krishna means that he's glorified by great philosophers? This name we didn't see the meaning in the previous class because I had forgotten the meaning. But now we have the meaning. Does anybody remember the name that we did not see in the previous class?
Urugya, no?
Urugaya, yes. Urugaya meaning we
Urugaya.
didn't see. Urugaya means he is glorified by the great philosophers, no? Then, what name of Krishna means that he is the master of the senses?
Pendra.
Rishikesha.
Rishikesha, yes.
Rishikesha.
Rishikesha, master of the senses. Very nice. What name of Krishna means that he is the master of all yogic power, master of all mystic power?
Yogeshwar.
Yogeshwar, yes.
Yogesh.
Yogeshwar. What name of Krishna means that he is husband of the goddess of fortune?
Madhav.
Lakshmipati.
Madhava
Lakshmipati.
or Lakshmipati, yes. Very nice. Both names are correct. What name of Krishna means that he is the Lord of Vaikuntha?
Vaikuntanath.
Vaikuntanath, yes, very nice. What name of Krishna means that he's the resting place of all the living entities?
Narayan.
Narayan, yes, Narayan. What name of Krishna means that he's all pervading?
Vasudev.
Vasudev, yes, very nice. And also, one more name is there.
Vishnu.
Vishnu. Actually, Vasudev means, yes, Vasudev also means that. Okay. What name of Krishna means that he is the Lord of all sacrifices?
Yageshwar.
Yagneshwar. Okay. So today, by the mercy of Sri Guru and Sri Krishna, we will start with chapter 7. This is titled The Salvation of Tṛṇāvarta. In this, first of all, we will be seeing how Krishna delivered a cart demon by the name Shakata Sura. Then we will see how he delivers Tṛṇāvarta, a whirlwind demon. And then finally, we'll see how Krishna shows universal manifestation in his mouth to Mother Yashoda. So these three things are happening in this chapter. See, Krishna, he has two aspects. One is sweetness and one is opulence. In the previous chapter, when Krishna killed Putana, okay, let's first discuss this. So two aspects, sweetness and opulence. How many opulences does Krishna have?
6.
6.
6 opulences. And when we talk about sweetness, when does Krishna display his sweetness? What do we mean by sweetness? Can you mention some pastimes where he's showing his sweetness?
Is it the time when he is with gopis?
Yes, when he's with the gopis, then Krishna is displaying his sweetness. Very nice.
When he's
Playing the
with
flute.
When he plays the flute.
taking all the
So all his
He's with the
pastimes in
third people.
Vrindavan are predominantly his sweetness, no? Because even if he shows his opulence in Vraj or to Vrajavasis in Vrindavan, his sweetness completely overshadows his opulence in Vrindavan because that is a mood in Vrindavan, no? So Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the owner of all the planetary systems, and yet he is afraid of one stick that Mother Yashoda is holding in her hand, and he's running away in fear of Mother Yashoda. And sometimes he's bringing his father's slippers on his head, no? When he's driving the chariot of Arjuna, taking that subordinate position. So all this shows Krishna's sweetness. When he's killing the demons and when he's showing the universal form, then he's displaying his opulence. Then he's displaying his opulence. So you see in the previous chapter, when Krishna killed, he showed the opulence of his lips, no, the power of his lips. Just by sucking, he sucked the life air out of Putana. And then when he kills Shakatasura, he will show the opulence of his feet. When he kills Tṛṇāvarta, he will show the opulence of his hands. And when he shows the universal form to Mother Yashoda, he shows his unlimited opulence, no? Unlimited opulence. So this is what we are going to say in this chapter. So in this chapter, Krishna's opulence is very, very predominant. Yeah, Shailesh, you have your hand raised.
What does opulence mean in this context?
Opulence, see, there are 6 opulences of Krishna. Does anybody remember? Can you name the 6 opulences of Krishna?
Strength,
Strength,
Wealth,
wealth,
fame,
Beauty.
fame,
fame,
renunciation,
renunciation,
pronunciation,
Knowledge.
Beauty.
knowledge,
beauty,
Beauty.
beauty. No? So we have these 6 opulences. So Krishna has these 6 opulences. So any pastime of his where he's showing his strength, his fame, his beauty, his renunciation, his wealth, his power, his potency, all that means it is his opulence. That's what it means. Okay?
Means does it mean that is this is the properties that we associate with?
It means he is the personality who has all these 6 opulences, and he has all these 6 opulences to the full extent. Nobody has it equal to him, nobody has it greater than him. Nobody is more beautiful than Krishna. Nobody is more powerful than Krishna. Nobody has more knowledge than Krishna. Nobody is more renounced than Krishna. Nobody is more intelligent than Krishna. That's what it means.
But I just wanted to understand when you say Krishna is the most renounced. What does that mean? What is means
So when
the entire universe encompasses Krishna, no?
Yes, he has created both the spiritual and the material worlds, but still he is not in the material world. Still, he is not interfering with the free will of the living entities. He is still detached. He is still detached. Okay, that's what it means. Even from if you want to take his leelas, you can see how he was also detached, because when he killed Kamsa, he could have been the next king, but he did not declare himself the king. It was his Kamsa's father who was crowned king. So you can say that he was detached there. He was not attached to the kingdom when he could have been the king. There also he showed his renunciation in his earthly leelas. Okay. All right, let's proceed. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is always full with 6 opulences, namely complete wealth, complete strength, complete fame, complete knowledge, complete beauty, and complete renunciation. The Lord appears in different, complete, eternal forms of incarnation. The conditioned soul has immense opportunity to hear about the transcendental activities of the Lord in these different incarnations. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said, Janma Karma Chame Divyam. The pastimes and activities of the Lord are not material. They are beyond the material conception, and the conditioned soul can benefit by hearing such uncommon activities. Hearing is an opportunity to associate with the Lord, to hear his activities is to evolve one's transcendental nature simply by hearing. The conditioned soul has a natural aptitude to hear something about other conditioned souls in the form of fiction, drama, and novel. That inclination to hear something about others may be utilized in hearing the pastimes of the Lord. Then one can immediately evolve his transcendental nature. Krishna's pastimes are not only beautiful, they are also very pleasing to the mind. So, Krishna's pastimes are unparalleled. Krishna's pastimes are so beautiful that they attract us. No, that's why Krishna is called as Leela Purushottam. Leela Purushottam. And why does Krishna descend and display these pastimes? Is mainly to attract the conditioned souls back home, back to Godhead. That is Krishna's primary focus, his devotees. He is coming here most primarily for the well-being of his devotees. So the more we hear about Krishna, the more we are able to evolve our transcendental nature, because by nature, no, we are qualitatively the same as Krishna. Satchit Ananda. The soul is eternal, full of knowledge and full of bliss. But because we have this material conditioning, no, we have this material body, we have accepted this material body, which was a poor deal for us. We are conditioned now to think differently. Some of us may, or before we come to Krishna consciousness, one may have been an atheist. One may consider Krishna to be one of the several devatas that we have in our scriptures, or so many other misconceptions one may have, no, because we are conditioned by the body that we have received. Conditioned by the body that we have received. But when we can hear Krishna's pastimes, that hearing will purify us, and it helps us to revive our Krishna consciousness. It helps us to evolve our transcendental nature. So see, this line is very important. The pastimes and activities of the Lord are not material. They are beyond the material conception. Very, very important. They are beyond the material conception. We cannot conceive the Lord and his pastimes, his activities by our material framework. Sometimes because we are conditioned to think in a particular way by the body that we have, we try to judge and we try to understand Krishna by our material conception. But we cannot do that. That's why Krishna is beyond material conception. No, we can have most of our questions answered with realizations. Over a period of time, Krishna will give us realizations and we will find the answers to our questions. But if we try to understand Krishna with our material conceptions, we will not be able to do that. So therefore we need to hear. Hearing is very, very important activity. If someone takes advantage of hearing the... Okay, Lavina, you have your hand raised. Sorry. Lavina, you're on mute.
What does Leela Purushottam means?
Oh,
Can you
Leela
explain?
Purushottam. So Purushottam. What does the word Purushottam mean? Let's discuss that first. Purusha means person and Uttama means topmost. So Purushottama means topmost. So Leela Purushottam means when it comes to performing Leelas, Krishna is the topmost person. Nobody has better pastimes, better Leelas than Krishna. So Krishna's pastimes from his very appearance was so dramatic, no? He appeared in a jail, and then all the guards went to sleep, and then his father had to cross the river Yamuna. So everything from his appearance up to his disappearance, his childhood pastimes, his youth pastimes, And then in his adulthood pastimes and his participation in the Mahabharata, everything is so dramatic, no? So it is, that's why he's called as Leela Purushottam. His Leelas are unparalleled. There's nobody better than him when it comes to these pastimes, Leelas.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, I'm sorry. If someone takes advantage of hearing the pastimes of the Lord, the material contamination of dust accumulated in the heart due to long association with material nature can be immediately cleansed. Lord Chaitanya also instructed that simply by hearing the transcendental name of Lord Krishna, one can cleanse the heart of all material contamination. There are different processes for self realization, but this process of devotional service, of which hearing is the most important function, when adopted by any conditioned soul, will automatically cleanse him of the material contamination and enable him to realize his real constitutional position. Conditional life is due to this contamination only, and as soon as it is cleared off, then naturally the dormant function of the living entity, rendering service to the Lord, awakens. By developing his eternal relationship with the Supreme Lord, one becomes eligible to create friendship with the devotees. Maharaj Parikshit recommended from practical experience that everyone try to hear about the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. This Krishna treatise is meant for that purpose, and the reader may take advantage of it to attain the ultimate goal of human life. What is the ultimate goal of human life?
Krishna Prema.
Krishna Prema, no? Krishna Prema. What about
Moksha.
liberation? What about Mukti? Is that not the ultimate goal of human life?
Yeah, liberation.
Liberation or Krishna Prema? Which is better?
It's Krishna Prema is better.
Why?
Because the we'll be able to dedicate more time on Krishna and his
Okay, but even
we'll
in the spiritual world, we'll be dedicating time to Krishna Seva. Even there, we will be rendering services.
To remember Krishna
I
at the time
suppose
of
it is because we are able to liberate more souls, help liberate more souls.
When we are in the material world, we can help liberate more souls. We cannot do that in the spiritual world, you're saying? Why?
Because I mean, you can interact with people in the material world only when you're in the material world.
Okay, so you cannot preach in the spiritual world because everybody in the spiritual world is already a fully realized souls. They're all self-realized souls. So you cannot preach in the spiritual world. Very nice point. Okay, more. More points.
Maybe because that is what Krishna wants.
That is what Krishna wants. Okay, very nice. So does it matter to a devotee whether the devotee is in the material world or in the spiritual world?
No, it
No,
doesn't
Mataji.
matter.
It
Not
doesn't
if he
matter
knows
to a
that
devotee.
that is
What
what
does a
Krishna
devotee only
wants.
want? A devotee only wants to
Serve Krishna.
Serve the Lord.
serve Krishna. Serve Krishna. So it doesn't matter even if the devotee is in hell, but if he's serving Krishna, he is happy. No? So that's what brings the devotee real happiness. That's what would bring any living entity real happiness. So love of God is far superior to attaining mukti. A devotee is not interested even in gaining liberation. A devotee only wants to serve because in service we show our love. Okay, here in this paragraph, we can see what are the advantages of hearing the pastimes of the Lord. Why should we hear? What is so wonderful about hearing Krishna Katha? So see, there are different processes for self-realization. How many items or processes of self-realization are there? How many
Nine.
items of
Nine.
devotional service? Huh?
Nine.
Nine. What are the nine?
Self-realization.
Shravana,
Shravanam,
Kirtana,
Kirtanam,
Kirtanam.
Shravanam Kirtanam.
Dasyam, Sakyam,
Maranam.
No, let's go in order.
Atmanivedanam.
Let's go in order. Shravanam Kirtanam. Then third is
Padasevanam, Padasevanam,
no. Third is
Atmanivedanam.
no. Third is
Sakyam,
Archanam.
Shravanam
Vandanam.
Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam.
Smaranam.
Yeah. Yes. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakyam Atma Nivedanam. Now translation. Shravanam is
Listen.
hearing.
Listen or
Yes.
hearing.
Kirtanam,
Singing.
yes, chanting the holy name or singing. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam. Smarana means
Remembering the Lord.
to remember
Remembering
the
the
Lord. Shravanam Kirtanam
Lord.
Vishnu Smaranam. Then Pada Sevanam.
Do the puja.
Service. Serving the
Archan-
lotus feet of the Lord.
Serving the lotus feet of the Lord. Pada Sevanam. Then Archanam.
Doing the puja. or
Doing the
Deity
rituals.
worship. Deity worship. Archanam. Then Vandanam.
Praying.
by word.
Praying. Offering prayers. Offering prayers. Vandanam. Then Dasyam. Dasyam means
To serve as a servant.
to serve as a servant. Very nice. Then Sakyam.
And
To serve like a friend.
As a friend, no? Service as a friend. Dasyam Sakyam, then Atma Nivedanam. Atma Nivedana means
Surrender.
complete surrender.
complete surrender, to surrender everything. So out of these 9, which is the most important?
Shravanam.
The first one, hearing. No, actually hearing and chanting both are important. So when we chant the holy name, we are doing both. We are hearing and also we are chanting. No, because when we chant, the sound vibration enters our ears and that enters into our consciousness. No, so Shravanam, Kirtanam are very, very important. And hearing, if you see hearing, we are talking about the glories of hearing Krishna Katha. When the child is in the womb, no, the child in the womb cannot see, right, is in this dark place, uncomfortable small place, but the child can hear. The child can definitely hear. That's why the child in the womb can respond to sound vibrations, no. And also when a person dies, the last sense to fail is the hearing of the person. So a person may be in deep coma, he may not be able to talk, he may not be able to open his eyes, he may not be able to see, but he can definitely hear. So hearing is very, very important. We are seeing what are the benefits of hearing in this particular paragraph. So when we hear, we are becoming cleansed. All the dust that has accumulated in the heart over the past so many millions of lifetimes because of our long association with matter, lot of dust has been accumulated in our heart. So when we start to hear Krishna Katha, when we hear the pastimes of the Lord, then that dust can be immediately cleansed. So this is what Srila Prabhupada is explaining here in this paragraph. Realize his real constitutional position. What does this mean? That we can realize our real constitutional position by hearing. What is our real constitutional position?
we are spirit souls, part and parcels of Krishna.
We are eternally the parts and parcels of Krishna. Eternally we are subordinate to Krishna. Eternally we are servants of Krishna. God is great. We are not great. Therefore we should always serve Krishna. So our real constitutional position is that we are eternally his parts and parcels. We are eternally subordinate. We are eternally the servants of Krishna. See, here you have the 9 items of devotional service for your reference when I share the slides in the group. And here you have different personalities who perfected themselves by these 9 items of devotional service. See, Maharaj Parikshit attained the highest perfection, shelter at Lord Krishna's lotus feet simply by hearing about Lord Vishnu. Sukadeva Goswami attained perfection simply by reciting Srimad Bhagavatam. So these two are the two personalities between which this conversation took place, and that's how we have the Srimad Bhagavatam. No, Sukadeva Goswami narrated the Bhagavatam to Maharaj Parikshit when he was cursed to die within 7 days. So hearing and chanting.
Can you
Prahlad
go back to
Maharaj
the previous
attained
slide?
What's that?
Can we go back to the previous slide?
Here. You have a doubt here? I can't hear you. I don't see him on the Zoom. Okay, let's proceed. Prahalad Maharaj attained perfection by remembering the Lord. The goddess of fortune attained perfection by massaging the transcendental legs of Mahavishnu. Maharaj Prithu attained perfection by worshipping the deity, and Akrura attained perfection by offering prayers unto the Lord. Vajrangaji Hanuman attained perfection by rendering service to Lord Ramachandra, and Arjuna attained perfection simply by being Krishna's friend. Bali Maharaj attained perfection by dedicating everything to the lotus feet of Krishna. So here you have how these different personalities, they perfected themselves by engaging in these services. So here you have a chart. And Ambarish Maharaj is that personality who engaged in all 9 items of devotional service. So if you want to know how, then that is homework for you. This you have to research on your Vedabase. You can search your Vedabase and you can read in detail. We cannot go into the details now, but this is for your own research to be done. Coming back to Krishna book, the Lord, out of his causeless mercy, descends to this material world and displays his activities just like an ordinary man. Unfortunately, the impersonalists or the atheistic class of men consider Krishna to be an ordinary man like themselves, and so they deride him. This is condemned in the Bhagavad Gita by the Lord himself when he says, Avajananti ma mudha. The Mudas or rascals take Krishna to be an ordinary man or a slightly more powerful man out of their great misfortune. They cannot accept him as a supreme personality of Godhead. Sometimes such unfortunate persons misrepresent themselves as incarnations of Krishna without referring to the authorized scriptures. So sometimes people, they think that Krishna is an ordinary human being. He performs pastimes like an ordinary human being in order to attract the conditioned souls, but that does not mean that he is an ordinary human being. He may be stealing butter, he may be crying like an ordinary child, but still he is the supreme personality of Godhead. We saw how when he killed Putana, we saw the opulence of Krishna. So we should not think that he is an ordinary human being. Okay, Naresh, you have your hand raised?
Yes, Mataji. How did Maharaj Ambarish attend to all 9 devotional activities?
Yeah, so he was a king, but he was a Raja Rishi, and he did engage. He used all that he had at his disposal in all these 9 items of devotional service. So we know from the Shastras that he did Shravanam, he did Kirtanam, he always remembered the Lord, and he engaged in all 9 items of devotional service. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Mataji.
When Krishna grew up a little more, he began to turn himself backside up. He did not merely lie down on his back and he did not merely lie down on his back, and another function was observed by Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, Krishna's first birthday. So there are 2 occasions that we are going to see in this chapter. One is when Krishna turned himself backside up. He is not only lying on his back, no. So he's slanting and he's turning himself backside up. So that time Krishna was 3 months old. And then another function that is being observed is Krishna's first birthday. So here Krishna is 3 months old and then he is 1 year old. They arranged for Krishna's birthday ceremony, which is still observed by all followers of the Vedic principles. Krishna's birth ceremony is observed in India by all Hindus, irrespective of different sectarian views. All the cowherd men and women were invited to participate in the jubilant celebration. A nice band played and the assembled people enjoyed it. All the learned brahmanas were invited and they chanted Vedic hymns for the good fortune of Krishna. During the chanting of the Vedic hymns and playing of the bands, Krishna was bathed by Mother Yashoda. This bathing ceremony is technically called Abhishek, and even today this is observed in all the temples of Vrindavan on Janmashtami day or the birth anniversary of Lord Krishna. So all the Brahmanas were invited and they chanted Vedic hymns for the good fortune of Krishna. Do these Brahmanas know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead?
No.
No, they don't know. They don't know. So they are chanting for the good fortune of Krishna. But Krishna is the husband of the goddess of fortune. On this occasion, Mother Yashoda arranged to distribute a large quantity of grain, and first-class cows decorated with golden ornaments were made ready to be given in charity to the learned, respectable Brahmanas. Yashoda took her bath and dressed herself nicely, and taking child Krishna duly dressed and bathed on her lap, she sat down to hear the Vedic hymns chanted by the Brahmanas. While Mother Yashoda was listening to the chanting of the Vedic hymns, the child appeared to be falling asleep, and therefore she very silently laid him down on the bed. Being engaged in receiving all the friends, relatives, and residents of Vrindavan on that holy occasion, she forgot to feed the child milk. He was crying. Being hungry, Mother Yashoda could not hear him cry because of the various noises. The child, however, became angry because he was hungry and his mother was not paying attention to the child. So he lifted his legs and began to kick his lotus feet just like an ordinary child. Baby Krishna had been placed underneath a hand-driven cart, and while he was kicking his legs, he accidentally touched the wheel of the cart and it collapsed. So you can see here in this photo, Krishna was placed beneath this cart because there is this ceremony, no, and Mother Yashoda is busy with the, she's attending the guests and everything. She had Krishna on her lap. Then she saw that Krishna is feeling sleepy, so she searched a nice cozy place where Krishna will be undisturbed. So and he was feeling sleepy, no, so she placed him under this cart. So this cart is huge cart. On top of that, there were many huge vessels filled with grains and so many other things. And she placed Krishna safely under this cart, and she thought that he is now fast asleep. And then she began to attend to the other guests, the other Brahmanas who had come there. But then Krishna got up, he was hungry, and he wanted to attract the attention of Mother Yashoda. So he kicked the cart with his lotus feet, and then the cart came crashing down. It came crashing down. See, here you can see another picture. Various kinds of utensils and dishes made of brass and other metals had been piled up in the handcart, and they all fell down with a great noise. The wheel of the cart separated from the axle, and the spokes of the wheel were all broken and scattered hither and thither. Mother Yashoda and all the gopis, as well as Maharaj Nanda and the cowherd men, were astonished as to how the cart could have collapsed by itself. All the men and women who were assembled for the holy function crowded around and began to suggest how the cart might have collapsed. No one could ascertain the cause, but some small children who were entrusted to play with baby Krishna informed the crowd that it was due to Krishna striking his feet against the wheel. They assured the crowd that they had seen how it happened with their own eyes, but they strongly asserted the point. Some were listening to the statement of the small children, but others said, "How can you believe the statements of these children?" The cowherd men and women could not understand that the all-powerful personality of Godhead was lying there as a baby and that he could do anything. Both the possible and impossible were in his power. So nobody was able to believe that it was Krishna who brought that whole cart crashing down by his feet, no, because say again, in Vrindavan, Krishna's opulence is completely overpowered by his sweetness. For the Vrajavasis, no matter how much opulence Krishna shows, still for them Krishna is their most lovable personality. For Yashoda, for Nanda Maharaj, Krishna is their beloved son, is their beloved child whom they have to protect. No, so even if Krishna shows his opulence, his sweetness completely overpowers his opulence in Vrindavan and for the Vrajavasis. See, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he comments. Let's read this. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has commented on this verse as follows. When Lord Krishna was of a very tender age, his hands and legs resembled soft new leaves. Yet simply by touching the handcart with his legs, he made the cart fall to pieces. It was quite possible for him to act in this way and yet not exert himself very much. The Lord in his Vamana avatar had to extend his foot to the greatest height to penetrate the covering of the universe. And when the Lord killed the gigantic demon Hiranyakashipu, he had to assume the special bodily feature of Nrsimhadev. But in his Krishna avatar, the Lord did not need to exert such energy. Therefore, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself. In other incarnations, the Lord had to exert some energy according to the time and circumstances, but in this form, He exhibited unlimited potency. Thus, the handcart collapsed, its joints broken, and all the metal pots and utensils scattered. The Vaishnava Toshani remarks that although the handcart was higher than the child could easily touch the wheel of the cart, and this was sufficient to send the demon down to the earth. The Lord simultaneously pushed the demon to the earth and superficially broke the handcart. The Brahmanda Purana states that because a heavy demon entered the cart's height decreased. Thus Krishna's short baby legs could touch the cart. So what is the name of this demon who had entered this cart, who had taken the shelter of this cart?
Tṛṇāvarta.
What?
Tṛṇāvarta.
No. Tṛṇāvarta demon we are going to see next.
Sakatasura.
Shakatasura, yes, Shakatasura. So he has brought this cart crashing down, and the demon was forced to leave that cart, no? Because this demon, Shakatasura, he has taken shelter of that cart. Coming back to Krishna book, when the discussion was going on, baby Krishna cried. Without remonstration, Mother Yashoda picked the child up on her lap and called the learned Brahmanas to chant holy Vedic hymns to counteract the evil spirits. At the same time, she allowed the baby to suck her breast. If a child sucks the mother's breast nicely, it is to be understood that if he is out of all danger, it is to be understood that he is out of all danger. After this, all the stronger cowherd men put the broken cart in order, and all the scattered things were set up nicely as before. The Brahmanas therefore began to offer oblations to the sacrificial fire with yogurt, butter, kusha grass, and water. They worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead for the good fortune of the child. Yeah, Shailesh, you have your hand raised?
The Krishna book somehow does not mention that there was a demon on the cart.
It doesn't mention, but it's there in the Bhagavatam. Because this is a commentary on the Srimad Bhagavatam. So when you read Srimad Bhagavatam, you can see that this demon is called Shakatasura. And when you read the commentaries of the other acharyas like Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, then you have the name mentioned. He's called Shakatasura. Okay. The Brahmanas who were present at that time were all qualified because they were not envious. They never indulged in untruthfulness and they were never proud. They were non-violent and they never claimed any false prestige. They were all bona fide Brahmanas and there was no reason to think that their blessings would be useless. With firm faith in the qualified Brahmanas, Nanda Maharaj took his child on his lap and bathed him with water mixed with various herbs, like the Brahmanas chanted the hymns from the Rig, Yajur, and Sama Vedas. So we can see the qualifications of the Brahmanas here. What are the qualifications here? Why are they qualified?
Because they were never.
They are not envious.
They are not envious. They never indulged in
Indulged in untruthfulness, and they were never proud.
They were never
Yes.
non-violent.
Yes.
I mean, they were never
Yes.
violent.
Or
So
claimed any false
a
prestige.
bona fide Brahmana should have all these qualities. Should have all these qualities. See, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna mentions the qualities of a Brahmana in the 18th chapter. Krishna says peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, knowledge, wisdom, and religiousness. These are the natural qualities by which the Brahmanas work. So the Brahmanas by nature, these are the natural qualities. It's not that one is artificially peaceful, artificially self-control. No. By nature, it's the nature of a Brahmana to be peaceful, to be self-controlled, to be austere, and so on and so forth. So these are the qualities of a Brahmana. And then we also have the duties of a Brahmana. What are the duties of a Brahmana? 6 duties. Does anybody remember from our previous classes?
Peacefulness.
No, duties. Peacefulness is a quality. Duties. 6 duties of a Brahmana.
Doing puja,
Distribute knowledge.
teaching, learning.
Learning, yes, learning the Shastras. Very nice. Then?
Teaching, need to do the rituals, I think, properly. That is one of the Brahmana. I remember.
Okay. To do the
Teaching.
yagyas, to do the rituals properly. Then? What's that?
Teaching the Shastras.
Teaching the
Protect the
Shastras, yes.
cows.
Learning the Shastras and teaching the Shastras, doing the rituals or doing the yagyas and
Giving the donations
Protect the
that they have
cows.
And
excess,
then accepting the gift.
accepting the gifts.
accepting donations and also giving donations.
Giving the
Okay, very nice. So here, say 6 duties of a Brahman. Patan Patan, Yagya Yagya, Dana Pratigraha. A Brahmana must be learned and he must make others learned. He must worship God and he must teach others also how to worship God. He should accept charity and again he should distribute it. So who do you think, how does the Brahmana give charity? Does he give charity to poor people?
Charity of knowledge.
Charity should be given to
Other Brahmanas.
other Brahmanas?
He
Or
gives it to qualified people.
qualified people. So who are the qualified people? What qualifies a person to receive charity?
He distributes prasad.
Only prasad?
Any excess that they have.
Okay, but to whom will they give?
to devotees.
To devotees? Very nice.
To cows.
To cows? Very nice.
To Vaishnavas.
To Vaishnavas? Very good. Basically, the distribution of charity should be for engaging in Krishna consciousness or to be used in the service of the Lord. So he himself may distribute it by using it in the service of the Lord, or he may give it to someone who will use a charity again in the service of the Lord. Okay, so these are the 6 duties of a Brahmana. Patan Patan, Yagya Yagna, Dana, Pratigraha. It's not that he receives and then there is excess, so he just gives it away to anybody. No. He gives it to someone or he himself will make sure he will make sure that that money is used in the service of the Lord. That is a Brahmana. Yeah, Shivani, you have your hand raised.
Yes, Mataji. So when we were talking about the cart that Krishna broke, so that time it was his first birthday that they were celebrating,
No,
right?
3 months, 3 months
Oh,
old. He
3
was
months
3
old.
months old, and the ceremony that they were celebrating was that he was not only lying on his back, now he's beginning to turn over.
And in that cart, the demon Shakatashur was in.
Yes, Shakatasura had taken shelter of that cart, and once the cart broke, then the demon had to leave, and then he attained a transcendental body, and he attained mukti.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. See, coming back to Brahmana, there is this very nice verse that says, Sat karma nipuno vipro mantra tantra visharadaha avishnavo gurur nasyat sat vaishnava swapacho guru. So even if the Brahmana, the Vipro, has Sat Karma Nipuno, even though he may be very well qualified and he's engaging in these 6 occupations of Patan Patan, Yagya Yagna, Dana Pratigraha. And he may be very expert in Mantra, Tantra, Visharada. He may be very expert in all these mantras and tantras and expert in Vedic hymns. Still, if he's a Vaishnava, If he is not a Vaishnava, if he is not a devotee of the Lord, then he cannot become a guru. Gurur na syat. If he is a Vaishnava, gurur na syat. He cannot become a guru if he is not a devotee. Even though he may be very well qualified and he may be engaging in all these 6 duties. Okay. Sad Vaishnava Swa Pacho Guru. But if he becomes a Vaishnava, then he is fit for becoming a spiritual master. But if a Vaishnava, even though he may come from the Chandala family, Swapacha, the dog eaters family, that is considered the lowest in the human society, if he becomes a Vaishnava, he is fit for becoming spiritual master. This is the Shastric injunction. So who is superior? A Brahmana is superior or a Vaishnava is superior?
Vaishnava.
Vaishnava.
Vaishnava is
Vaishnava.
superior. Why? Because
They serve Lord.
Serving God.
Because
They
all
serve the God.
Brahmanas may or may not be a devotee. No, sometimes Brahmanas are conducting ritualistic ceremony, but they may not have love for Krishna in the heart. But a Vaishnava has love for Krishna in the heart. So a Vaishnava is superior to a Brahmana. Yeah, Shailesh, you have your hand raised.
Yeah, I got a little confused. The book says that there was a function when Krishna turns on his first birthday, and then
Both.
they describe the cart incident.
It says both things. No, the book in the beginning, it says that there are 2 incidents. One is when he was started to turn over, and one was when he finished his first birthday. So when he started to turn over, that's the time when Shakatashura was delivered. And then now we will read on his first birthday how Tṛṇāvarta was delivered.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. It is said that without being a qualified Brahmana, one should not read the mantras of the Vedas. Here is the proof that the Brahmanas were qualified with all the Brahmanical symptoms. Maharaj Nanda also had full faith in them. Therefore, they were allowed to perform the ritualistic ceremonies by chanting the Vedic mantras. There are many different varieties of sacrifices recommended for different purposes, but the mantras are all to be chanted by qualified Brahmanas. And because in this age of Kali, such qualified Brahmanas are not available, all Vedic ritualistic sacrifices are forbidden. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has therefore recommended only one kind of sacrifice in this age, namely the Sankirtan Yagya or chanting the Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So do we have such qualified Brahmanas in Kali Yuga?
No.
We do not have. We do not have. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has recommended. What has he recommended?
Mahamantra.
The
The
chanting of the Maha
Maha
Mantras.
See, every yuga has a yuga dharma. Every yuga has the means by which the living entities can be delivered. No, so Satya Yuga, in the Satya Yuga, the yuga dharma was, who can say?
100%.
What was the yuga dharma? The means by which the living entities can go back home, back to Godhead.
Meditation, prayer,
Meditation. No,
all time.
meditation. Yes. In Satya Yuga, the way to go back to Godhead or the way to realize God was silent meditation. Then in Treta Yuga, what was the means to attain Godhead?
The Yajna.
Yagyas, doing the fire sacrifices. In Dwapar Yuga, the Yuga Dharma was
Deity worship.
deity worship. In Kali Yuga, the Yuga Dharma is
Prayers.
Chanting the Maha
chanting
Mantra.
the holy name, chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra as recommended by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is none other than Krishna himself, right? So here we have the topmost authority recommending this Maha Mantra for Kali Yuga. Now let's discuss what is the problem with meditation in Satya Yuga? Why we can't do it in Kali Yuga? What's the
You
problem?
need concentration, right? You need
Not enough time.
Distraction.
The life is, we don't have that much life.
Yes, all the answers are correct. So we need to focus, we need to concentrate. In Kali Yuga, the minds are very perturbed, very disturbed. We don't have that kind of focus. If we sit to meditate in 2 minutes, we will have 2 million thoughts. No, and then we don't have that kind of time. So Valmiki, for example, he meditated for 60,000 years. 60,000 years. So what chance do we stand? How now if a person lives for 60 years also?
So Valmiki was in Satyuga. It was in when Rama was there, right?
Yes, yes. Yes, he meditated and he perfected, and it took him 60,000 years, and then he wrote the Ramayana in
Ramayana.
Treta Yuga. Yes, but he did it under the instruction of his spiritual master. Okay, so when the spiritual master gives you a certain instruction, then you just execute the order of the spiritual master. Because when the spiritual master gives you an instruction, he also gives you the blessing to be able to fulfill that instruction. Hmm. Okay, so Satya Yuga, that's the problem with meditation. Now, what is the problem with performing these yagyas, which they did in Treta Yuga? Why
So
we
we
can't
don't
do
have
Kali
enough
Yuga?
resource. We don't have enough
It
resources.
might be illegal. Not
Yes,
qualified
because
Brahmin.
these yagyas required a lot of resources, no, a lot of grains, a lot of ghee, and a lot of articles were offered in the fire. And now we don't have that. In Kali Yuga, people don't have that kind of opulence. We don't have that kind of opulence. And also the Brahmanas who would chant the mantras for the yagyas, they would light the fire just by chanting mantras. They didn't need a matchbox or a lighter to light the fire. Just by chanting mantras, they would light the fire. So they were so powerful. And that's why in our Shastras, you will see sometimes how cows or horses were sacrificed in the yagyas, no? But the Brahmanas would chant mantras and they would bring the dead animal back to life. So even the animal that was offered in the yagya would benefit, no, and would benefit spiritually, of course, and also materially. The animal would get a brand new, fresh, youthful body, youthful body. So these brahmanas were so powerful that they could do all these things just by chanting mantras. Now, as we read in Kali Yuga, we don't have such qualified brahmanas. So therefore, we cannot attain perfection in Kali Yuga by that. Then third, what's the problem with deity worship in Kali Yuga? Why we cannot perfect it in Kali Yuga? Hmm? What's that?
Deity worship.
The standards of
Qualification.
performance
Qualification of
not
The standards of deity worship. Yes, it's taking care of deity. If you follow according to Shastra, there are so many rules and regulations. We do not have that kind of
purity.
time and opulence at our disposal. For example, now in Jagannath Puri, every day they are offering 56 items to the Lord. Can we follow that standard of deity worship in our homes? Can we do that?
No.
Are we able to do that? No. So
No.
deity
No.
worship, there are so many rules and regulations from bathing, from feeding, from worshipping, and then putting the deities to sleep, and so many mantras and so many rituals. So here now in Kali Yuga, we are not able to do that kind of deity worship in Kali Yuga. So for us, it has been simplified. No, therefore, we discussed how in the previous class, when we chant one name of Ram, we get the benefit of chanting the 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu, and one name of Krishna is equal to the benefit we receive by chanting 3 times the name of Ram. So therefore, this mantra is given to us by Lord Chaitanya. This is the recommended dharma. This is the Yuga dharma for Kali Yuga. Okay. Coming back to Krishna book. As the Brahmanas chanted the Vedic hymns and performed the ritualistic ceremonies for the second time, Nanda Maharaj again gave them huge quantities of grain and many cows. All the cows were given in charity, which were given in charity, were covered with nice gold embroidered garments, and their horns were bedecked with golden rings. Their hooves were covered with silver plate, and they wore garlands of flowers. He gave so many cows just for the welfare of his wonderful child, and the Brahmanas in return bestowed their heartfelt blessings. And the blessings offered by the able Brahmanas were never to be baffled. Now, because these Brahmanas were qualified, because these Brahmanas were bona fide, therefore the blessings of the Brahmanas will never be baffled, which means their blessings really work. The blessings of a bona fide Brahmana will definitely work in the favor of the person who's being blessed. One day, shortly after the ceremony, when Mother Yashoda was patting her baby on her lap, the baby felt too heavy. So now is the time when he will be delivering Tṛṇāvarta. Now he's 1 year old. Krishna is 1 year old. The baby felt too heavy, and being unable to carry him, she unknowingly placed him on the ground. After a while, she became engaged in household affairs. At that time, a servant of Kamsa, known as Tṛṇāvarta, as instructed by Kamsa, appeared there in the shape of a whirlwind. He picked the child up on his shoulders and raised a great dust storm all over Vrindavan, covering everyone's eyes. Within a few moments, the whole area of Vrindavan became so densely dark that no one could see himself or anyone else. During this great catastrophe, Mother Yashoda could not see her baby, who had been taken away by the whirlwind, and she began to cry very piteously. She fell down on the ground exactly like a cow who has just lost her calf. When Mother Yashoda was so piteously crying, all the cowherd women immediately came and began to look for the baby, but they were disappointed and could not find him. So, where was Krishna when Tṛṇāvarta took him?
On the ground.
On the ground. Actually, originally he was in Mother Yashoda's lap. Then he made himself so heavy that she was not able to carry him, and she put him on the ground. No, and actually it is described that Yashoda put him in the courtyard of the house. No, he was in the courtyard of the house. So when Tṛṇāvarta came, he very easily, without any problem, without any issues, very effortlessly, Tṛṇāvarta was able to take Krishna away. Now, why do you think Krishna made himself heavy when he was in Mother Yashoda's lap? And when Tṛṇāvarta came, very effortlessly he was able to take Krishna. So there, Krishna had made himself very, very light. So initially he made himself heavy, then he made himself light. Why?
Then Yashoda will put him
So
down.
that
Only when
Yashoda
Yashoda
put
will
him
put him on the
down.
ground.
So why did he want Yashoda to put him down? Why is he facilitating Tṛṇāvarta?
He didn't want her to get hurt.
He didn't want Mother Yashoda to get hurt. Yes, very nice. So he didn't want Mother Yashoda to get hurt. And also, then why was he in the courtyard? He could have been inside the house, no?
Because there was a whirlwind and it could have like the dust could have entered the house and nothing was visible.
Anybody else wants to try?
So that Tṛṇāvarta can take the baby from Krishna from there easily.
Because if he would have taken him from inside his house, then what would have happened?
The
Someone
house
else
would
would
have
have
been
gotten hurt.
destroyed.
Someone else could have gotten hurt, and also the house would have been destroyed, no? So Krishna wants to have least damage to Vrajavasis. He wants to have least damage in Vrindavan because it's his favorite place, of course, no? And therefore, by facilitating Tṛṇāvarta to come and quickly finish up his business, quickly do what he wants to do, therefore he wants to facilitate this, no? And therefore he makes Yashoda put him down, and he's in the courtyard. So it is described that actually when he came, there was a lot of dust. He raised a lot of dust, and also there was a scary noise, because when the wind comes in great speed, there is also this sound that accompanies that wind, no? So there was this scary noise as well when Tṛṇāvarta came, and there was blinding darkness, and for one whole hour, everybody's vision was blocked. For one whole hour, nobody was able to see anything. And Tṛṇāvarta took Krishna high up, 800 miles up the sky. Tṛṇāvarta took Krishna. I'm sorry, 800,000 miles. 800,000 miles. The Tṛṇāvarta demon went high into the sky with baby Krishna on his shoulder, but the baby assumed such a weight that suddenly he could not go any further, and he had to stop his whirlwind activities. Baby Krishna made himself heavy and began to weigh down the demon, catching hold of his neck. Tṛṇāvarta felt the baby to be as heavy as a big mountain, and he tried to get out of his clutches, but he was unable to do so, and his eyes popped out from their sockets. Crying very fiercely, he fell down to the ground of Vrindavan and died. The demon fell exactly like Tripurasura, who was pierced by the arrow of Lord Shiva. Tṛṇāvarta hit a stone slab and his limbs were smashed. His body became visible to all the inhabitants of Vrindavan. So now again, Krishna has made himself so heavy. He allowed Tṛṇāvarta to take him 800,000 miles up the sky. But then Krishna said, enough. And now he has made himself heavy. He's holding on to Tṛṇāvarta with his hands, no? And again, like Putana wanted to just get rid of Krishna, but Krishna would not let go. In the same way, now Krishna is holding on to Tṛṇāvarta so hard that Tṛṇāvarta is not able to get rid of Krishna. And then Tṛṇāvarta came crashing down. So you can see how Krishna increases his weight, then he decreases weight, and again he increases his weight. When the gopis saw the demon killed and the child Krishna very happily playing on his body, they immediately picked Krishna up with great affection. The cowherd men and women became very happy to get back their beloved child Krishna. At that time, they began to talk about how wonderful it was that the demon had taken away the child to devour him, but could not do so. Instead, he fell down dead. Some of them supported the situation. This is proper because those who are too sinful die from their sinful reactions, and child Krishna is pious and therefore he is safe from all kinds of fearful situations. And we too must have performed great sacrifices in our previous lives, worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, giving great wealth in charity, and acting philanthropically for the general welfare of men. Because of such pious activities, the child is safe from all dangers. The gopis assembled there spoke amongst themselves. What sort of austerities and penances we must have undergone in our previous lives? We must have worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead, offered different kinds of sacrifices, made charities, and performed many welfare activities for the public, such as growing banyan trees and excavating wells. As a result of these pious activities, we have gotten back our child, and even though he was supposed to be dead, now he has come back to enliven his relatives. After observing such wonderful happenings, Nanda Maharaj began to think of the words of Vasudev again and again. So, what words of Vasudev is Nanda Maharaj thinking of?
He told
He
Nanda
told
Maharaj
that
to
the
go
kid is
to.
in danger.
Nanda Maharaj told him, no,
Kid
go
is
back quickly because there may be danger. So now he's thinking that, oh yes, he said there was danger, and then Putana came, and now again Tṛṇāvarta has been killed. So Nanda Maharaj began to think of the words of Vasudev again and again. So it is described, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments that when uh, when Tṛṇāvarta fell and Krishna was taken by the gopis were telling Mother Yashoda that how could you be so cruel? How can you put your baby down? How can you just leave him unsafe? How can you leave him unattended? And Mother Yashoda said that, oh, but he became so heavy, I was just not able to carry him. And then the gopis are saying that, what do you mean you were not able to carry him? He's as light as a feather. He's as light as a flower. How come you're not able to carry him? So we see how Krishna, he actually made himself so heavy and then light and then again heavy. After this incident, when Mother Yashoda once was nursing her child and patting him with great affection, there streamed a profuse supply of milk from her breast. And when she opened the mouth of the child with her fingers, she suddenly saw the universal manifestation within his mouth. She saw within the mouth of Krishna the whole sky, including the luminaries, stars in all directions, the sun, the moon, fire, air, seas, islands, mountains, rivers, forests, and all other movable and immovable entities. When Mother Yashoda saw this, her heart began to throb, and she murmured within herself, how wonderful this is. She could not express anything but simply closed her eyes. She was absorbed in wonderful thoughts. So here you can see Krishna manifests the entire universe in his mouth for Mother Yashoda. Krishna showing this universal form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead even when lying down on the lap of his mother proves that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is always the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Whether he is manifested as a child on the lap of his mother or as a charioteer on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the concoction of the impersonalists that one can become God by meditation or by some artificial material activities is herewith declared false. God is always God in any condition or status, and the living entities are always the parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord. They can never be equal to the inconceivable supernatural power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 7th chapter of Krishna, the salvation of Tṛṇāvarta. Yeah, Naresh, you have your hand raised.
Yeah, so this is the first time when he showed the universal form. Again,
Correct.
then
Yes, first
when
time.
he had mud, again he had mud, and that time
Yeah, that is
Mother
coming up in the next
Yashoda
chapter.
said,
That is coming up in the
okay,
next chapter. Hold on. Okay,
okay,
we will see that in the next class.
thank you.
Shivani?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji. So when Nan Maharaj was thinking of words of Vasudeva that the baby Krishna is in danger, Putna came. Who came after Putna?
Shakatasura.
Okay, thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So now we
What
see the previous life of
Shakatasura came in.
Shakatasura. In his
Sorry.
previous birth, Shakatasura was a demon named Utkacha. He was a son of the demon. Oh, I have to change this word. He was son of the demon Hiranyaksha. Once he went to the hermitage of Lomasa Muni and broke some trees. Seeing that, the sage became angry and cursed him. O evil-hearted one, become bodiless. Utkacha's body at once fell away as a snake's old skin. Utkacha fell at the Brahmana's feet and said, O sage, O ocean of mercy, please be kind to me. I did not know your power. O Lord, please give me a body. Then the sage, who had studied 100 lessons on morality from Lord Brahma, became pleased. You may have a body made of air. When the Chakshusha Manvantara is over and the Vaivashvata Manvantara has come, Lord Hari's foot will give you liberation. In this way, the power of Lomasa Muni gave liberation to the demon Utkacha. So this is the previous life of Shakatasura. He was a demon called Utkacha and he was cursed by Lomasa Muni. Yeah, Shailesh, you have raised your hand.
Despite repeating attacks from Krishna, they never considered away from the Davan.
They did consider. No, they are in Gokul now. Remember, they are in Gokul. Okay, they are in Gokul. And after an incident that we will be seeing in the next few weeks, they do dislocate from Gokul. So that again, you have to wait. We will see that. Okay. They did dislocate. Okay, now what do we mean by Manvantara? We have discussed this in the previous class.
That the Manu each.
No, Manvantara Avatar, I think, no?
Manvantara, see the lifespan of one Manu is called as Manvantara. Lifespan of one Manu is Manvantara. Now one Manu lifespan is for how many Divya Yugas?
1,000.
One Manu lasts for how many Manus in a day of Brahma?
7.
14.
14 Manus. Yes, there are 14 Manus in one day of Brahma. So one day of Brahma is for how many years, earthly years? One day of Brahma.
100.
4
1,000.
yugas, totally 4 yugas. About
Okay.
3 lakh.
Okay, wait. The 4 yugas put together make a total of 4,320,000 years. Okay, this is one Divya Yuga. 1,000 Divya Yuga makes one day in the life of Brahma, and the same number of Divya Yugas make one night in the life of
One night, yes.
Brahma. Okay, so in one day of Brahma, there are 14 Manus. So one Manu lasts for some 71 Divya Yugas. One Manu lasts for some 71 Divya Yugas. So if there are 14 Manus in one day of Brahma, how many Manus in 1 month of Brahma?
Into 100.
If there are 14 Manus in one day of Brahma, how many Manus in 1 month of Brahma?
Oh, 1 month of Brahma.
Mataji, how
29,820.
26.
29,820.
How you're getting that?
14
14 Manus in one day of Brahma. So how many
Okay.
Manus in 1 month? How many days in a month?
30 days.
30 days.
30
Yeah, that's the
into
Vedic calculation. So how many
day
months?
and night.
14 into
Day and night
42.
420.
420.
420. Yes, 420 because 14 into 30. No, so 420 Manus in 1 month of Brahma. Now, how many Manus in 1 year of Brahma?
Multiply by 12. No.
Multiplied by 12. So that is
1,040.
5,040 Manus in 1 year of Brahma. Now, how many Manus in one lifetime of Brahma? How many years
Into
Brahma
100.
lives?
Multiply by 100.
Yeah, multiplied by 100. That comes to
504,000.
504,000 Manus in one lifetime of Brahma, right? So can you calculate how many Manus are manifest in total across the universes? How many Manus in total across all the universes? Can you calculate? Yes or no?
No,
Why?
We don't know how many.
because
Unlimited.
the
Yeah, so this what we calculated,
Unlimited.
504,000 manus in one lifetime of Brahma is our universe, right? So like this, there are millions and millions of universes that are coming from the breathing of Mahavishnu. So we cannot even think, we cannot even imagine how many manus are being manifest in total by the breathing of Mahavishnu. And that Mahavishnu is an expansion of 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 Krishna. Yes? Is that correct or wrong?
Yeah.
yes, correct.
How? Mahavishnu is an expansion of
Garbhodak. No, no.
Mahavishnu is an
Maha.
expansion of Garbhodakshay Vishnu is an expansion of
No,
Mahavishnu.
next
But Mahavishnu is an
Mahavishnu, yeah.
expansion of
Krishna himself.
Lord Krishna.
but before that.
Balaram.
So let's go to the
Sankarshna.
correct let us go to the
Sankarshan.
correct sequence.
Sankarshna.
Ah, yes, the second quadruple expansion, very nice. Or the second Sankarshan. That second Sankarshan is an expansion of, or the second quadruple is an expansion of?
Balaram.
No, not yet. I said expansion of an
One
expansion of an
Sankarshan.
expansion of an expansion of an expansion of Krishna. So Mahavishnu is an expansion of the second quadruple expansion or the second Sankarshan, who is an expansion of
Lakshman.
First Sankarshan.
the name starts with an N.
Narayan.
Narayan.
Narayan, yes, Narayan. That Narayan is an expansion of
First quadruple of
the
Sankarshan.
first quadruple. Yes, the first quadruple expansion. The first quadruple expansion, they are an expansion of
To
Balaram.
Balaram.
Balaram. Balaram is an expansion of
Krishna.
Lord
Krishna
Krishna.
is an expansion of
Vishnu.
Krishna is an expansion of
No one.
no one. Yes, the buck stops at Krishna.
Krishna
Correct. Very
himself.
nice. Okay. So, yes, Krishna is an expansion of no one. Okay. Now, let's see the previous life of Tṛṇāvarta. In his past life, Tṛṇāvarta was Sahasraksha, a powerful king of Pandudesh. He was a devotee of Lord Hari, a follower of Dharma, a performer of yagyas, and a giver of charity. Once on the shore of the river Reva, in a very splendid place filled with flowering vines, he enjoyed with 1,000 beautiful women. Durvasa Muni came there, but the king did not bow down to offer respects to him. Then the sage cursed him, O evil hearted one, become a demon. When the king fell at his feet, the sage gave a blessing. O king, the touch of Sri Krishna's form will give you liberation. Because of Durvasa's curse, Sahasraksha became Tṛṇāvarta on earth, and by the touch of Sri Krishna's form, he attained liberation. So this is from the Garga Samhita. Yeah, Lavina, you have your hand raised?
Yeah, actually, he said that after Putana, who was born?
Shakatasura.
Which was Sakatasura, and then Tṛṇāvarta. He came after that.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so means Sakatasura came at the age of 3 months.
3 months.
And
And Tṛṇāvarta when Krishna was 1 year old.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So this is Tṛṇāvarta's previous lifetime. Now we have to discuss the anarthas that the demons represent. Remember, these anarthas are given to us by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Anartha means that which has no artha, that which has no meaning, that which is useless. No, so every demon represents an anartha. So what is the anartha that Shakatasura, the cart demon, represents? He represents Bhara Bahitam, or carrying the burden. Carrying the burden of what? Because see, the cart was carrying the burden of all these vessels, no, metal pots and all these things. So it was carrying the burden. So Shakatasura represents the anartha of carrying the burden, the tendency to carry the burden of a cart load of old and new bad habits accumulated in this life and in previous life. So sometimes we are carrying the load of our old habits, which we are not able to give away, or we don't want to give away. We are so attached, no? Like, for example, somebody who's a chain smoker. He knows that smoking is injurious to health. The very box of cigarettes says smoking is injurious to health, and there is so much on social media, and the doctor doesn't. He knows, but still he continues to smoke. So this is like carrying the burden of the old habits or even new habits that we may develop. No, so Shakatasura represents the cartload of old and new habits accumulated in this life and in the previous life. He also represents carrying the burden of regulative principles without knowing the purpose. So, if we do not know the purpose, why we should refrain from meat eating, intoxication, illicit relationships, and gambling, then it will be like a burden only for us. It will be like a burden only for us. So, we should know the purpose, why we have to follow the regulative principles. This is the reason why Srila Prabhupada has written so many books on this subject matter. So much literature is available to us by the mercy of Sri Guru and Sri Krishna. So the load carrying mentality is due to material attachments, due to less dependence on Krishna and more dependence on material possessions for happiness. The mood created by thinking of baby Krishna breaks the cart or removes the evil. So Shakatasura represents the anartha of carrying the cartload of old and new bad habits and also carrying the burden of regulative principles without knowing the purpose. Then what is the anartha that Tṛṇāvarta represents? Yeah, Aja, you have your hand raised.
Oh, yeah. Mataji, I have a question about the Manvantra. I don't know. My belief is end of each Manvantra there will be flood, right? Is that correct?
There is a period. Yes, there is a certain period between one manvantara and another manvantara. There is an intermediate time period, but destruction is at the end of Brahma's day and at the end of Brahma's lifetime. Destruction, partial destruction is at the end of his day, and complete destruction is at the end of his lifetime. But between two manvantara, there is a certain time period. There is a lapse of certain time that is there between two, but I have not read that there is a destruction at that time. That I have not read. I don't know.
Okay. So in that period, between the Manvantara, that period, no animals, no human being, nothing. Then again, and life start again, new life start with the new Manu. Manu is the one who give all the instruction to humans how to live, right?
Yes, yes. But even if a person leaves, the teachings are left behind. No.
Yeah,
The
but
teaching should be there. But really, what happens during that period, I cannot answer that question. I don't know. I don't know.
okay.
Okay. So, Tṛṇāvarta, the anartha that Tṛṇāvarta represents ku-tarka, false arguments. The killing of this whirlwind demon represents the destruction of pride in being learned and the consequent use of faulty arguments and dry logic, which gives rise to useless disputes and arguments, dry reasoning in the company of attached persons. Being merciful on seeing the affection for the devotee to him, baby Krishna kills that whirlwind and removes the obstacles to worship. So, false argument, the pride that comes in being learned, the pride. So, one may sometimes become very proud that yes, I know the Shastras, or yes, I'm able to think in a particular way, or yes, I'm able to quote from the scriptures. I have memorized so many shlokas. No, so that pride will take one away from Krishna, will take Krishna away from the heart of the living entity. And the greater the pride, the more impactful will the fall be. No? Because Tṛṇāvarta took Krishna so high up, therefore his fall also was that much more impactful. If Tṛṇāvarta didn't go that high, then his fall down also would have not been so bad. No, he would have not crashed so very badly. So the greater the pride, we say in English, they say no, pride comes before the fall. So the greater the pride, the more higher we go, then that much more crashing down we will come. So Tṛṇāvarta represents the destruction of pride in being learned and the consequent use of faulty arguments and dry logic. Yeah, Naresh, you have your hand raised?
Yeah, Mataji. The question is that Tṛṇāvarta was a devotee of Lord Hari before in his previous life. So why he had to be called a Kutar, were like he had to face this when he's being a devotee also.
Yes, but then he made this mistake. The king did not bow down to offer respect to him. So he has committed Vaishnava aparadh.
Yeah, but what we know also is that Durvasa Muni gets angry for every small thing.
Yeah.
Yes, that doesn't matter. A person, what the opposite person does not matter, but one should always conduct oneself in the right way. It doesn't matter if Durvasa Muni is known for his anger or he's known for his mercy or he may be known for anything. It doesn't matter. But that doesn't mean that you can be disrespectful to him. That doesn't give you the license to be disrespectful to that person.
Why the munis are not able to forgive and forget? They always curse. Why is it that?
So when a saintly person curses, that curse is not a curse, but it is a blessing in disguise. You can see here, actually Durvasa Muni's curse was a blessing because Tṛṇāvarta was personally touched, killed, liberated by Krishna,
Oh
which
yeah.
he may have probably not been able to do in I don't know how many millions of lifetimes, who knows.
Oh, okay.
So when great personalities curse you, even that curse is a blessing in disguise. This is how a devotee should see it. Okay. So there is this nice article written by Chaitanya Charan Prabhu. I will leave this for you to read when I share the slides in the group. So this is homework for you because it's a long article. We will stop here because of time constraints. But I want you to please kindly read this when I share the slides in the group. On that note, we come to the end of today's session by the mercy of Sri Guru and Sri Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
Yeah.
Right.
Mataji, I have a question.
Yes,
So you told us there are 14 Manus in one day of Brahma,
yes.
and Mahamantra has a lifespan of Manu. One Manu lasts for how long, Mataji?
71 Divya Yugas.
And
71 Divya Yuga. So one Divya Yuga is 4,320,000. So you multiply it and you get the exact number. It'll give you 306.72 million years.
and what was the 5040? That's 1 year in Manu.
What's that?
5040.
5,040. There are 5,040 Manus in 1 year of Brahma.
So hold on. 5040 Manus in 1 year of Brahma.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Are we ready for the test?
Just one request.
Yes.
You
Yes.
explained about the expansions of things. I think you had made a slide in which you had made that. Can you just tell me which slide?
Can I tell what? The expansions?
You had made a slide about the expansions of Krishna.
Yes, it's there in one of the previous slides. Yes.
Could you just give me a reference of which one it was?
I will share it at the end of the class in the group. Okay?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
You're welcome. Okay.
Mataji, I have one more question. Sorry.
Yes.
Could you please one more time? You're explaining the expansions. Can you please explain one more time?
So Krishna's first expansion is Balaram. From Balaram come the 4 quadruple expansions. From the first quadruple expansions comes Narayan. From Narayan come the second quadruple expansion. From the second quadruple expansion comes Mahavishnu. Then comes Garbhodakashay Vishnu. Then comes Shirodakashay Vishnu.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Now are we ready for the test?
Yes.
Okay. So the link is in your chat right now. Can you all access it?
Yes.
Okay, your clock is ticking.
I can't see the link.
I will send it again.
I can't see the link either. Okay.
I don't know where is the link.
I'm sharing it now again.
Okay, now I got it.
Okay. Can you see it now, Lavina Mataji?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.